What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to take a look at Expeditions, a MudRunner game, a sequel to SnowRunner, one of my favorite games. I'll be comparing my RTX 4090 and RX 7900 XTX against each other with a Ryzen 7800X3D CPU. This here will be our GeForce truck, and this here will be our Radeon truck. The mission is that we have to get a truck that's stuck in the mud and we have to tow it back to base. So we're going to begin here, follow this route all the way to the truck, and we're going to use 4K native ultra with TAA. And once we pick up the truck and make our way towards the base, we're going to turn on MSAA times 8, which should add much more of a load on the GPU. So let's see how they both compare. Let's go over the settings real quick. We're using full screen, 4K, TAA for anti-aliasing, and the ultra visual quality preset. Then the second half will enable MSAA times 8. Before I go any further, I'd like to mention that I did actually upload a 4090 dedicated video for this game yesterday, but I made a stupid mistake, so I took that down and decided to make a new video, make it more coherent, focus on one mission and completing it, but also add the 7900 XTX on top of it as well. I'm also going to try to show full screen gameplay from both GPUs and then also put them side by side as we make our way to our goal. Let me know what you guys think of this and if you like it or if you just want side by side all the time. As far as the benchmark, it'll be the same as all my other benchmarks. I'll be comparing averages and 1% lows once we get to the end of the TAA run, which is to the truck, and then we're going to reset and compare averages and 1% lows for MSAA times 8 with percentages. Now, before I show the numbers, guys, just keep in mind that we're not getting very good CPU utilization here. We could be CPU bound or engine bound or the way the game's optimized, because the 4090's running at like 80% sometimes 90%, and even the 7900 XTX is dropping to like 95% or so. So this isn't a very accurate comparison of the power of these two GPUs in this game. We will actually get to see that more once we enable MSAA times 8, where we put most of the load on the GPU and the CPU does not become the issue. And those numbers are, we have the 4090 is 29% faster on the averages, and 1% lows are practically the same. We have 95 FPS on the 4090 and 96 FPS on the 7900 XTX. But we are now entering near the end of the TAA run, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the truck, we're going to hook our winch to the truck and try to tow it out back to the base. So let's do that. Let's begin by showing the settings. As a matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and go from TAA to MSAA times 8. And this is going to put a lot more of a load on our GPU. And this should theoretically remove that CPU bottleneck from both GPUs, revealing the differences between the two. Before I go over the differences between the two GPUs at the end of the mission, what I would like to do is, at the very end of the video, I will show clips of both GPUs and the recorded footage with the FPS right after I unpause after changing the settings, just for the sake of transparency, because I edited the video so that it would be easier to consume, but I can understand if maybe some people are curious and want to see exactly what the FPS is of each GPU after the settings menu, okay? So that will be at the end of the video for anyone that's curious. Let's go over the numbers though and what the differences are between the two. And those differences are, the 4090 is 64% faster on the averages and 56% faster on the 1% lows. So we have 123 FPS for averages on the 4090, 75 FPS for averages on the 7900 XTX, 85 FPS on 1% lows for the 4090, and 55 FPS for 1% lows on the 7900 XTX. Now, still looking at the GPU utilization, we're still not at 99% on either GPU. So that is kind of strange. It could be the game's engine optimization. I don't really know. But all I know is by enabling MSAA, both of these GPUs are very powerful. So this way, we are putting more of a restraint on both GPUs graphically. And that way, we can utilize as much as we can out of them. And we're also at 4K. So yeah, these are the numbers. It's definitely a wider gap than I was expecting. As a matter of fact, this looks more like Helldivers 2 between these two brands than any other game, where normally the 4090 would be around 20 to 30% faster than the 7900 XTX. Here that gap seems to be much wider. However, though, they both still can provide a high refresh rate, 4K native TAA experience, or definitely above 60 FPS on both for 4K with 8 times MSAA. Also, Nvidia and Radeon have their own other methods of doing TAA from the driver. Maybe I can take a look at that some other time. But yeah, this was kind of interesting to look at. We're going to skip to the end of the mission so that you guys can see yourself where I took the 1% lows and averages reading. It was right when we completed the mission, arrived back to base. And yeah, I am kind of glad I made that mistake with the 4090 video, if I'm honest, because it kind of led me to make this video, which was a more thorough look, more coherent as far as following the mission to the end. And also, we got to look at the 7900 XTX as well, which maybe I probably wouldn't have done that. I don't know. Who knows? But it ended up working out in the end is what I'm saying. If you guys did like this, give it a like and subscribe for more content. Stay tuned. Coming up will be the clips that I promised, so you guys can see both GPUs and the performance metrics after the settings. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. On to the clips that I promised then. So this is the RTX 4090 settings for 4K TAA. So the beginning of the video, you can see here I've chosen the ultra graphical preset. Then we'll unpause the game, turn on my performance overlay, show a little bit of gameplay, and then we're gonna go to the Radeon GPU of the same exact settings and in the same exact area. So these are the recordings that I've edited together. So here's the 7900 XTX, 4K full screen, ultra graphical preset, TAA. Then we'll pause the game and then make our way towards the turn after turning the performance metrics on. And these numbers are essentially, it's the same video that I used for my comparison. I mashed them together. Now this is the MSAA times 8 settings, and this is our Radeon GPU. As you can see, full screen, MSAA times 8, ultra graphical preset. We'll unpause, turn on the performance overlay, and then begin a little bit of gameplay, hook up onto this truck. And now we'll go over to the GeForce GPU where we do the same. As you can see, I just began the recording and I had the anti-aliasing to TAA and then swapped it to MSAA times 8, accept. You sure? Yes. The ultra graphical preset. And then we turn the performance overlay on and proceed to do the same, hook up onto the stock truck and tow it back to base. So yeah, I hope you guys like this, and let me know. I can provide these on other videos as well if anyone's curious. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.